Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Welcome to the Two Chicks with Hiking Sticks podcast.
I'm Monica.
I'm Susan, and we cover the natural, historical, and cultural world around us. And today, we're so happy that you've joined us. And in
Yes.
fact, since you have joined us, take just a moment to subscribe.
It's that fast.
It's that fast. Subscribe, like us, share us with your friends.
We are shareable.
We are we are shareables. And then we have t-shirts, we have merch.
We
You
have
can also
merch.
put a link in there for that. In
Merch.
case you want to be like a chick with us.
That's right. And you can be a chick.
They're a chick everywhere, chick, chick.
That's right.
So, so we cover all sorts of topics, interesting topics, I think, every week. And this week is particularly, it's interesting because it's Redwood National Park.
That is interesting.
And what's interesting first about it is that when you see Redwood National Park, it's like Redwood National and State Parks. It's like a national park with 3 state parks, all in this one area.
I was going to say within it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess everybody wanted to protect something, and then, everybody kind of came together. So
That's a lot of funding right there in one spot.
Well, yeah. And it's funny because it's not that big.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not that big. But so when you go to the Redwood National Park, you are going to be going through the state parks that are around there as well, like Jedediah, and I don't know, there's a couple of other state parks there.
Okay.
So just bear that in mind when you go there. Now, we're talking about where it's at. It's up in Northwest California. So you have to drive kind of up northwest, north of San Francisco. And it is, me didn't know. When I first went, didn't know much about it. Didn't realize how much it was on the coast.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I know nothing about it, other than it has big trees.
It actually does have big trees.
I've never been there.
But, like
I've seen
Sequoia
pictures.
has big trees?
Yes.
I think Redwood actually has the biggest tree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one singular biggest tree.
Oh, okay.
Now, don't get me wrong, they have big trees there. But anyhow, a lot of other big trees. But
We like big trees.
I like big trees and I cannot lie.
I was waiting for you. I had to cue you for that because it was too good to pass up. Please go ahead.
Well, okay, thanks. So this particular park, Redwood, I am surprised because after having been there, I'm like, this is a park I would go back to many times.
Really?
Yeah. But I am surprised at how it is not a highly visited park.
Really?
But I say to myself, maybe the reason why is how they counted for the national park versus the states then get their own counts. Maybe when you go to the visitor centers that are in the state park area, because there are multiple visitor centers in Redwood National Park.
Okay. Well,
So,
that
like-
makes sense.
Yeah, because you kind of have to think too. It covers this swath that really goes north and south. So you really kind of have to plan your way around the place because it's like a lot of driving in some ways, but it's not huge. But there's a lot of driving in different places and nooks and crannies and things for you to go to. So anyhow, but yeah, so it's not a heavily visited park, and I would say maybe 625,000 people a year. So it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot, but I think it depends on what time of year you go.
Okay. Lots of hiking?
There is a good amount of hiking.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we did lots of hikes and stuff when we were out there. So, but it only covers about 139,000 acres. And the thing that I've come to learn, particularly as we go through different national parks and all, is about these ancient forests, like the old growth forests, like the OGs, right? Unfortunately, the redwoods were heavily logged all along the California coast. And
Not
everything, right?
shocked. Yeah.
I know. Somebody finally said, oh, maybe we should save these things. And so at least some of them are being saved. But so you have some second growth forest. And so you have the coming back of some of those. But they're never going to be as big.
Right. I think I've read that. Yeah.
And it's really a shame because these trees are just beautiful and massive. Like the sequoias are beautiful and massive if you've ever been to Sequoia National Park. But it is interesting. This park is much like some of the other parks in that you've got the rivers, you've got the prairies, you've got the forests. You've got a mix of so much stuff that when you go out hiking, you've got choices of what you want to hike on and what you want to hike through.
Oh, okay. So lots of ecosystems within one area, which we've talked about
Yes.
a lot in a lot of different places.
Which is probably why, it needs to be preserved because it's really protecting that. But yeah, so Again, like I said, it's about 139,000 acres, but it extends along, as I said, this coast. It's like 60 miles long, and maybe, I don't know. It's long, and there's a lot of shore, and there's a lot of deadwood that's there too. So you get to see a lot of that, old trees that kind of get washed back up, and
Right.
just kind of what that looks like on the ocean. Now, when we had gone, it was like angry ocean. It was like a storm system
Oh,
somewhere.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like whoosh, these like waves would come in. It was like the coolest thing just to stand there and watch.
Cool.
And then my friend dropped her phone.
Oh, no.
And then it was like, where's the phone? Did it go out with the waves?
Oh. Did y'all find it?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Face down in the sand that had been
jeez.
washed over with the wave. But hey, it was still working. Took a hit, but kept on kicking.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. But I think it depends on what time of year you go, and that's most of the cases with a lot of these places. Is depending on the time of year you go, you may get a lot of something or a lot of nothing. We just happen to have the storm system, which really just brought a different kind of life to the shoreline.
Sure.
And it was kind of a wet, rainy weather, but it's California and it's coastline. What do you expect, right?
Right.
Because you've been out to California,
Yes, but not that part of California.
not Northern California.
No.
It's beautiful compared to the southern part.
Yeah, I would like to get up to that area. I've been to the LA area.
Mm.
Yeah.
No. That's a no.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have national park down there, but no.
No.
Yeah.
I was there for a wedding, so, no parks.
Just the wedding.
Just the wedding,
So
which was good. But,
I'm so glad that
I'm
you
not saying anything about it. Well, it was good at the time. Did it turn out so good? No. But then there was a better wedding, and everything was well. The end.
As Taylor would say, all's well that ends well.
That's right.
But I'm in a new hell, is what she says. Anyhow, if anybody can name that song, power to you. So, this area, of course, the Indigenous folks were here first. So
Really?
I know. It's a shocker.
Shocker.
And much like other places, it took a while for the National Park Service to say, oh, maybe we should help you a little bit, maybe getting back some of that land. And so they really have worked with the Indigenous folks on partnering with them to get these lands back to more of what their OG state was.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It is nice. I became familiar with Redwood Rising, Redwoods Rising or Redwood Rising on TikTok back when, I want to say it was probably even during COVID. There was a guy that came on and he was doing like educational things about what they were doing to restore these lands in the redwoods. And it was actually really kind of cool to listen about how you don't really think about it much, but when you look back and reflect on Indigenous folks living in this area, you have to think about how were they surviving? Well, they were fishing, they had salmon, they had whatever, right?
Right.
Well, when everything gets overgrown or heavily logged and things get blocked and stuff happens, that all kind of started going away, and it went away. And so Redwood Rising is about how do you bring back the original luster of what this was for the native folks. And in fact, native folks don't even really have to have licenses to like do some, hunting or fishing and stuff in the area. They just have to show their ID like, hey, I'm native, I'm OG here. So they can just go do whatever they can do.
And that was actually a question I had. So in this forest, because I can only go by what I've seen in pictures, is there a lot of wildlife in that area?
There is some. I don't know what the biggest thing is out there.
Oh, yeah, I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because the thing you hear more about is the fishing because of the Klamath River that's out there.
Right.
Or the Klamath River that's out there. I don't know about big game.
Yeah, just wondering.
Yeah, but somehow they had to survive. So,
Right.
So that was important. So what they did is that there's this 125-acre site that they basically gave back to the OG folks, and it's the Prairie Creek area. So let's talk a little bit about how this park is here.
Oh, yes.
It's the return.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
She had to pull it out of that notebook, out of all the map national park thingies that she saves.
that are alphabetized, so it's easy to find. Yes.
Yes.
That book. Okay, so this is the map, and I hold it up because, like I said, it's long. And you really need to go to the visitor center. So we went to I think it's called Kuchel. It's Kuchel, I think, visitor center. You have to get one of these brochures because this brochure tells you exactly how it's divided up. So on this side, it tells you about all the different areas within the park. So you have the Hyuchi area, the Crescent City area, those are north, the Klamath area, which is kind of middle, the Prairie Creek area, the Oric area. This is how it kind of lays out from north to south. And I tell you this because you have to plan this in advance. Now, while it's not like one of the most heavily trafficked national parks, you have to plan ahead when you go because there's a lot of driving up and down this coastal area, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of time just driving to get to a point. So you want to map out what section you want to go to on what particular day. We had 2 or 3 days, I think, in the area, so we were mapping out hikes that were in the lower portion, and the mid portion, and then in the upper portion. But you want to just plan that in advance.
Are any of these roads like subject to washout?
I don't know that they're subject to washout. However, there are a lot of restrictions on some of these roads about how long your rig can be.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll talk about some of the places that we went to that you really, again, have to plan this in advance because you want to know where you can actually drive. It's kind of like if you go to Sequoia, it's the same way. They're tight turns and stuff like that you want to be careful of.
Right.
But planning in advance. Now, we stayed in Arcata, California, which was south. So we started our days always in the south and had to go north. So we at least planned for that it would take X number of, an hour or whatever, 2 hours to get up to the north, because you want to stop and see some of these sites too. And if you want to do hiking up there, you just have to figure out what section of the park you want to spend your time in.
That makes sense.
And that's why this map is really important.
And it's important for you to keep it. When did you go?
Last year.
Ah.
Yeah, I just went last year.
I thought you were going to say I was there 7 years ago.
No, yeah, actually, I went there in early November last year.
Ah.
Yeah,
I bet the weather was great.
Well, it was cool, and it was rainy, and it was somewhat foggy, but we loved it. It was like the perfect kind of hiking weather. That's my favorite kind of hiking weather. So, anyhow, so let's talk a little bit about the hiking that's out there because you also want to plan for that. Now, depends on what you want to look at. If you want to look at big trees, you want to look at prairies, again, you're going to find your section. They have this it's a quasi hike. It's a hike. You have to walk to it. And maybe, I think it's only like a half a mile, but you got to walk to it. You want to go on it, but to get there, you're going to have to drive on a road that's like a 1-lane road. And it's a 1-lane road with trees right next to you.
Is it a 2-way?
No.
Okay.
It's
well,
literally
then you're fine.
like a one.
You're fine. Don't listen to her.
Okay, no, I take it back. I misspoke. It's not a 1-way road. It's a 1-lane road.
Okay, yeah, 1 lane, and so it's going 1 way.
No, it's a 1-lane road.
Oh, that are 2-way.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Pay attention to her.
So there are some pull-off areas, like if a car is coming to you, because there was a car at one point that was coming to us, and while the drop-off isn't so severe because you're going to hit a tree before you ever fall very far, you still have to be paying attention because it is just a windy road through the trees, and it's the Wekra Road. Now, is it worth it to drive down there? The park ranger said it was. So we said...
Wait, do you say it was? I'm curious.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because it's a beautiful drive. If you could just get past the paranoia of thinking a car's going to come racing around a corner and hit you.
So beauty or it beats anxiety. Okay.
In this case, it did.
All right.
Yeah. So
good to know.
It was, to me, it was really worth it. And I'm trying to, I thought I made a note of what we did there. But it was, go ahead.
I was going to say while you're doing that, just to remind everybody, when you go to those national park sites, then we always link to them when in the blog.
Yeah.
When you go to those sites, a lot of these national park sites, if you go under the tab that says things to do and you find the hiking one, a lot of them have wonderful resources. They break down the hikes by time, by region. They break down the hikes by, like, Susan said, what do you want to see? Do you want to do the prairie hike? Do you want to do the tree hike? Do you want to do this hike, that hike? They break all that down for you. And they also break it down by time. Like, do you only have 2 hours in the park? These are the hikes you want to do.
Yeah.
You got 4 hours? These are the hikes you want to do. So always make sure you check in the blog. At the bottom of the blog, usually we have a little section called Hike It. And that's where you can go directly. If you don't want to know about the history or all that stuff, skip right down the blog to the bottom where it says Hike It. And I usually put in a link to the hiking page on all the national park sites. And a lot of the sites also have interactive maps.
Yeah.
So, and if I can, I put a link to those, or I put a copy of the map on the blog site. And you go to those interactive maps and you can click exactly where you want to go and it will show you everything. So that's an underused resource.
It really is, and because it's about 170 miles worth of hiking trails in this park, so it's a good bit of hiking that you can do here. Mm-hmm. You really want to map out what experience you're looking for, because again, like in some of these places, like the overlooks, like the Klamath River overlook was beautiful to go see. The High Bluff overlook, chef's kiss.
Nice.
The High Bluff overlook, if there's not another overlook you do, you need to do the High Bluff, and you need to do it at sunset.
Oh.
Spectacular color, spectacular view, looking over, because that part of the northwestern coast is very rocky. So you get the waves crashing on the rocks and the sun setting right there and shining gold onto these rocks and stuff. It is the most beautiful thing, even if it's raining, because it was. But we survived that. It was worth it to hike out there in the mud, and that's what we did. So it was a short hike. It was like, I don't know, half a mile, 0.8 of a mile, something like that to get out there. Not bad at all, other than the fact that it was just muddy. But anyhow, but you can find that on the map to figure out where you want to go. So those are highlights of, some places that you want to go. Some of the trails that we did because we had to. We did the Lady Bird Johnson.
Oh, nice.
Grove. Yeah, it was kind of nice because it was Lady Bird Johnson.
Exactly.
But we did it on a date. It was raining, but it didn't stop us.
That's kind of part of, I think, that whole area of the U.S. I mean, you're going to have to expect some rain and fog.
Yeah, so we did it when it was, raining. But again, I've always said, and you said too, is that if you've got the right gear, it didn't matter. I mean, you've got the right shoes, the right pants, the right jacket, right everything. It just didn't matter. The only thing it ever stops me with is I don't carry my actual big camera. Mm-hmm. I'll just use my phone.
Yeah.
But other than that.
And that kind of goes back to, because you mentioned it several times, and we mention it in the blog a lot also, is that you've really got to plan ahead for some of these trips. Not all of them. Some of them you might be able to just roll up into a national park, find out that it's open, go in, do what you want to do, and get out. But a lot of them are instituting, especially now that they're short-staffed, a lot of them are instituting timestamps, and you go and reserve a time to go in, or you look at the weather, and a lot of the sites also have weather.
Yes, they do.
So you've got to just look ahead, even if it's just a day ahead, and that way you don't waste time going out someplace and finding out and being disappointed or angry that you drove all these miles someplace and you're not able to get in and see what you want to see.
Yeah, and I mean, the benefit that I always have is that because I drive to all these parks, that I can always have a lot of stuff in my car. So at any given time, I can have, 3 different types of jackets that I might need, or different types of hiking shoes that I might need. But if you're flying in, you just have to kind of plan where you're going to be and what you're going to do and what the weather's going to be. So as I said, some of the hiking, so the Lady Bird Johnson, which is down towards the southern part. There's the Grove of the Titans Trail, which is at the northern part. There's a Tall Tree Grove Loop, which, again, these are all, you are hiking amongst these forested areas, these tall tree areas, that those were simple. Like, I want to say there's nothing that's longer than maybe 2 miles that we did. I think we might have done one that was maybe 4 or 5. I'm not sure which one, but because there's some that tie into each other. You know how, like, you can take a trail that'd be like Mill Creek Trail that drives into the Grove of Titans Trail. So sometimes they connect and you can make them longer. So we did some of that as well.
Yeah. So. Sounds great.
Yeah, it's on
my list.
It should be. And it's funny because it was never high on my list of making sure that I went to, but because I was going up to, where was I going? Oh, that was the northern part because I'd gone to Pinnacles and then we were going over to Yosemite and stuff. We were taking a whole like tour of California. It's like I was kind of excited. I'm like, well, let's go see what this is about. I was just shocked about how much shoreline there was and how pretty that was. And then these overlooks. Have your camera ready and go like it's sunset because I tell you that color is just beautiful. So
I think one of the things that I've learned over time with traveling, not just hiking, but just traveling in general, is that a lot of times your most distinct memories are going to come out from these little tiny things that you normally would have overlooked.
Yeah.
You know, I took a trip to Italy with a very good friend of mine, and we were in a little town on the coast in the area of Cinque Terre, and it had been raining the whole time we were there. So we did some stuff. We didn't get to do the big hike we wanted to do because we were going to hike the Cinque Terre Trail. But while we were there, the gentleman that owned the pension that we were at, the B&B that we were at, said, "It's your last night here." He said, "We have marvelous sunsets." He said, "You haven't been able to see one because of the rain, but it's going to clear up." He said, "You should sit outside and watch the sunset." So we said, "Well,
Okay.
we're not going to, it's too late to go hiking or anything." So my friend Melissa ran down, and she got us a pizza and a couple of Cokes, and I'm glad she ran down because these towns are on cliffs. If you want food, you had to go down. I was like, I'm not doing it. So she ran down, and she got the pizza and the Cokes, and we found a bench on the end of the cliff where we were sitting, facing the sunset, and sat there and just ate pizza and drank a Coke and watched this most magnificent sunset that I have ever seen. And not to add a sad note to anything, but my friend died within the next year, suddenly in an accident. And she got to see that, and I got to see it with her. And that is a memory that, will never be replaced. It's worth every penny that we spent.
And it's interesting you say that because I'm reminded of I had done a helicopter ride out of Las Vegas to do the Hoover Dam and then land in the Grand Canyon. And I remember on the helicopter ride, the helicopter pilot was like, "Don't be pulling out your camera trying to take pictures. You have to enjoy the experience," right? Because sometimes you get so locked in wanting to take pictures of everything that you forget about the experience. And the experience really is what's going to stay with you the most.
Yeah.
We also didn't know that they were recording it for us anyway, but that's a whole other thing that we had to pay for, but whatever. But the point is that to be present where you're at and enjoy that. So when I talk about that high bluff place, that overlook, girl, you got to do it. You got to do it at sunset because there was, and I will have pictures, I'm sure, somewhere in here that will show you just the beauty of the color. And to be there, I was there, with my sister, so it was really kind of nice.
That's awesome.
We had a moment. Yeah.
Yep. That's great.
So anyhow, that's pretty much Redwood. So I guess the takeaways from Redwood National Park is it's big in terms of ground to cover, 170 miles of hiking trails. So pick out where you're going to want to hike, southern, mid, or north. Pick out what visitor centers, because not all visitor centers are open all the time, depending upon the time of year. So you want to make sure you check that out as well. And just prepare for all types of weather.
That will all be under the Hike It section of the blog.
Yeah. So that's pretty much Redwood. I highly recommend it. It is a park I want to go back to.
It's a park I'd like to get to.
We could probably make that happen.
I think we could do that. All right.
All right. Well, thanks for checking us out. Remember to subscribe and click the like button because we would appreciate that.
All right. And
remember,
hike your own hike.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.